Spring game will be televised. ESPN2 will broadcast spring game on the 19th. We got to sell this thing out and pack this thing because the way the trend is going, you never know if this is going to be the last spring game. I don't believe in that. I don't really want to condone that. I would like to play the spring. Actually, I like to play against another team in the spring. That's what I'm trying to do right now, to have it competitive. Playing against your own guys kind of get monotonous, and you really can't tell the level of your guys because, it's the same old, same old. Everybody kind of know each other towards the end. I would like to style it like the pros. I would like to practice against someone for a few days, then you have the spring game. And I think the public will be satisfied with that tremendously. I think it's a tremendous idea. Yeah, I've told those personnel who should understand that it's a tremendous idea. Big 12 Pro Day and CU NFL Showcase. Pro Day is in Dallas Tuesday to Friday. I'm actually trying to attend that Pro Day to support a multitude of our players that's going to participate. Some won't. They may attend, but some won't because they're going to save it for our Pro Day because we should have all 32 teams in attendance because we got that many players that can fly out play the game. That's April the 4th in the indoor. Nike Coaches Clinic, about the top 50 high school coaches from around the country here today and tomorrow for a 2-day clinic. They've been phenomenal. They started off with us in the meetings. They've had access to our practices, to our meetings, to everything, and I love it because a lot of these guys feature guys that we're recruiting right now, so it's good to form a relationship. A lot of these guys I knew from coaching, high school football coaching, the plethora of Under Armour All-American games that I've coached. So there are a lot of friends out there. New staff hires and moves. You understand Marshall Faulk is here. Gunnar White is the head offensive line coach. Andre Garrard, who's awesome, played here. George Hegeman moved to assistant O-line coach. George Hilo moved to DN coach. Pecco, D-line coach. Pollock moved to special teams coordinator. Grant Hammer, new OC. Swayze, head of strength and conditioning guys. Gordon Nams, new assistant coach for strength and conditioning. We have a couple more of huge moves we'll probably make this week, maybe one next week that you're going to really appreciate the understanding of how wonderful this staff is. I always tell you that Rod and that staff, they comfort me, and these guys that we're bringing in, along with these guys I just announced, gives me tremendous comfort. Recruiting by the numbers, 31 total players, 14 from high school, 17 from the portal. 13 was 4- and 5-star recruits in the class. CU record 3 is highest totals now the last 3 years. Juju is the 4th 5-star signed in the last 3 years, doubling that total from the previous 25 years. So we are doing pretty good with high school guys, contrary to what people may think or say, but we don't care. 9 of the 14 are 4- or 5-star recruits, 4 from Florida, 3 from Texas, 2 each from Georgia and Tennessee, plus Alabama. I love the South, you know that. Alaska. I didn't know we had somebody from Alaska. I'm just joking. Colorado as well as Michigan. Webb Walker finishing his final phase of chemotherapy treatment in Boston, and then he'll meet with his doctors about the next step. I'm very excited about that. We love him, we appreciate him, and we're praying for him and his family immensely. I truly did miss you all. A lot of things have transpired, but I feel like we will have a better team. I really do. I think I know we had a few phenomenal players that you're going to see get drafted. But as a team, I feel like we're better on both lines. I feel like we're better in the backfield, especially with the addition of Marshall Faulk. I just feel like offensively and defensively, the linebackers, what I'm seeing from the secondary, the depth, and I'm appreciating so many aspects of the coaching staff and what they're bringing, and the young men that are understanding what they desire. So, when you hire a guy, you want that room to emulate and imitate who he is, and that's what they're doing right now, and I'm proud of that. Sapp is settled now. He's good. I mean, you bring a big dog in there like that, he got the outside guys as well as the inside. Petco's doing his thing. Garrard is doing his thing with Big George and Gunner. It's a beautiful thing. The receivers, they're fighting, they're feisty. I just can't wait to see what comes to pass on the field. A couple quarterbacks are fighting for who's going to be who. We don't know. No one's getting a nod right now. We're testing both of them and see how they react to what Pat is throwing at them, and they're doing a phenomenal job in leadership. You got to understand the offensive line and some of the guys that are still here is used to a certain type of leader, and these guys, we want them. The standard is the standard. We're not going to shy away from the standard at receiver, at quarterback, or wherever have it. The standard is the standard. Let's go.
Nikki, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
How you
Nick
doing?
Edwards here, Sports Report. Good to see you.
You like the sweater? I see you.
Thank you. You mentioned the quarterback competition. When you and Coach Shermer are watching them on the field, what qualities are you looking for in your starting quarterback?
Leadership. Being able to see the field. Being able to rally those guys around. Because you got to understand, you got to have a bona fide leader. Why you asking that? I'm glad you asked. Because you don't huddle. You rarely huddle in college football. So those guys rarely get to look in the quarterback's eyes and see what he's consists of, and is he still composed? They rarely do that. You would see Shedeur sitting there, or he going on the sideline talking to those guys, and I always used to tell them, look in their eyes so they could see where you are. They could see how passionate you are about this next possession. And you want to see that type of leadership because I know what they've seen. And the standard is the standard, and we're not going to vacillate from the standard.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
Brian Howell, the Daily Camera.
I'm ready for you, baby. I'm ready.
I got two questions for you. First off, I'm curious
Hold on. My God, that's a nice jacket. My God. I got the record. First of all, I saw it at practice, and I got instantly jealous. You almost provoked me to go upstairs and change. That's how good you look. I don't know who made it, but I promise you I'm going to knock it off. That means duplicate it. And I'm going to have the pants to match. But that's a nice jacket. You ain't got the nerve to do that, but I do. But that's a nice jacket. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's right. It is a nice jacket.
It is.
Two questions for you. First off, how are you adjusting to coaching football without your sons being there?
I love it because I only have to wear one hat. And you don't understand how much I appreciate that. Because when you're a dad and a coach, you're wearing two hats. You coaching your butt off, but naturally you're making sure your kids are all right at the same time, simultaneously. And I've adopted kids on this team that I love to life, and I'm watching them as well. But it's nothing like your two biological kids being up there. You can't help but focus on those young men and seeing how they're doing. So it's different for me. I'm sure it's different for them, but I'm loving the process. I truly am.
And then I want to ask you, I asked Coach Faulk this the other day, but obviously you've been very adamant about financial literacy for your players.
True.
And he was in that industry for so many years,
Right.
The last several years, 7 years or whatever. How much did that play into you wanting to bring him in here knowing that he could maybe help those guys in that regard?
Well, I brought him in first and foremost because of his expertise of what he does. He was one of the greatest, arguably the greatest running back to ever play the game. I'm talking about in all phases, blocking, running the ball, catching the ball out of the backfield, and a bona fide leader. Marshall made many of the checks for the quarterbacks early in some of those quarterbacks' careers, and he was just that smart. And we worked beside one another for over a decade at the NFL Network, so I know him. He is not just a friend. That's my dog. That's my boy. That's my man. I mean, I got love for Marshall Faulk. So for him to even do what he's doing here, he didn't have to. Marshall don't need no money. He's straight. So for him to want to come and help these young men and help us do what we're doing and these guys to elevate to the next level, that's tremendous. I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm thankful. I'm elated. Every time I see him, I go up and hug him, man, because it's, looking around the room and you see Marshall Faulk, and then you listen in on some of the talks and some of the wisdom that he's giving these young men is unbelievable. They getting it at cornerback, defensive line. They getting it everywhere now, and it's crazy with Pat, with the quarterbacks. And I'm telling you, we had a couple surprises that you're going to say, darn it. You might use profanity, but I say darn it. You may use profanity, but it's going to be some good guys.
Coach Jack Carlo.
Jack Carlo. My man. Let's get on Jack.
Thank you, Coach.
I miss you, man.
I miss you too.
There you go.
Now with Sports Illustrated too. But just wanted to ask you about the Big 12 Pro Day and the CU's in-house showcase. Just how big an opportunity is that for guys kind of looking to boost their stock?
It's tremendous, Big 12 Pro Day. I love what they're doing. I mean, we got I think the nicest, the coldest, darn commissioner in the game, to even think of that and allow us to have that for these young men that some of them may not get opportunity. You just know some of the guys because they were high-profile guys, but we got several guys, Herm Smith and several guys that's going to be there that just want an opportunity to put on in front of some of the scouts that's going to be there. So that pro day is phenomenal. That's what I'm saying. It's in Frisco, I believe, Texas. I think I'm going. That's not too far from me, about an hour and a half from me, actually. But I'm going to try my best to be there. I know some of our young men are going, and they're probably participating in some of the interviews, but they're going. And I'm happy about that. And our pro day here is going to be televised. I think the NFL Network may carry it as well. It's phenomenal. We're going to try to put on the best show possible for the fans as well as these young men to have them in the capacity that they're at peace, they're at home, they could relax and just do what they've been gifted to do. So I'm excited about that. I really am, because I know all 32 teams will be represented here. It's going to be phenomenal for our program.
Hi, Coach. Adam Mustertag,
How you doing,
24/7 Sports. Doing well. Good to see you. We had a chance to talk to Coach Gunnar White last week. And
Yeah.
he said when he got to Jackson State, he was a little bit starstruck,
Yeah.
and so he just put his head down, went to work. When
Yeah,
did you
he
see
did.
him start taking notice of his potential in that role?
He's a workaholic. First of all, he works his butt off, and he compliments normally the head guy at the offensive line pretty darn well. He's going to be there at the wee hours of the night. He's going to make sure his job is complete. Usually when I get up to the offensive line, their paperwork is on my desk first, because we grade the young men after every practice. And he's been doing it for years. He has it there first. That's just who he is. He's a tremendous father. Two beautiful young ladies that he's raising, and I see his wife and the kids all the time. And I love it. He got the biggest calves you ever want to see. Your biggest calves you ever want to see. And he's a black belt. I don't know if he said that because he was in a black environment, but he said he was a black belt. I don't know if he said that to scare us, but he said he was a black belt when he was in Jackson. And he graduated from Jackson State, so that was phenomenal. But you talking about a man that's passionate about what he does and deserve the opportunity. When you win, you elevate from within. When you lose, you go out and find something outside the house. You remember that, guys. When you're on your job, wherever you are, if you're successful, you elevate from within, because you guys will soar and go somewhere else, prayerfully to a bigger check, a bigger payday, if that's what you choose to do. But that's normally the process. But I love Gunnar. He's a good man. He's a good person, and he deserves everything he has coming.
Hey, Coach. Scott Park there.
What's up,
DNVR.
boss? You blowing up, huh?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, I see you everywhere.
You feel me? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I wanted to ask you about just kind of how much of a priority it was for you in this program this offseason to retain Coach Robert Livingston as defensive
Oh,
coordinator.
shoot. That had to be the number one. That had to be the number one purpose that we had, as well as Pat. Don't sleep on Pat. He's doing a tremendous job here. But Rob was on everybody's list to try to secure his services. And he deserves everything he got coming, and then some. You know, when you get a guy and you have success, you're not going to keep him long. We didn't even have a success in the initial year that you thought, because we were 4-8. My God, I haven't heard that and said that in a long time. That used to be on social media all the time. I never see it anymore. But we still lost several really good coaches. Now, when you win, you expect your staff to be ravaged. You expect that. And he was the top dog. Don't sleep on Coach Mathis. The Saints wanted him as well. So, but we got over 20 years together. It's going to take a little more than that, I know they came with a bag, but we're going to take a little more than that. That's my dog. That's my buddy. And he has coordinator ability. But Rob is not only a great coordinator, but he's a good man. A great father, a great dude that the kids love and enjoy. So I don't know if we're going to be able to hold him after this season, but I'm going to enjoy this ride. I really am. But he's one of the best in the business, as well as Pat and the rest of our coaching staff. We have a wonderful coaching staff. Please don't underestimate that. Please take notice the way these young men communicate with these young men we have in that locker room, and the way they communicate with one another. And it seems like every time we lose, we gain. Every time we lose someone, we gain someone, and which is kind of a more, I'm not going to say a better fit, but a more pleasant fit, if I'm analyzing that correctly. Trying to be kind.
Thank you over there. Pat, go ahead, Pat.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
How you
Pat
doing,
Graham.
sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Like the hat.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, two-parter here. You've brought in obviously a lot of gold jackets to help with this team. Any hints on who might be coming in next?
No, I don't hint. I just do it. They just coming to the out. They're here. There wasn't no hint with Marshall, was it? That out. Some of y'all tried to break the story. I ain't gonna call it no names, but yeah. Huh? Yeah. Thank you. And you knew all along. Thank you for being who you are and valuing our relationship. He knows. He already knows.
And the second part is, I know how much you love it here and how much you've grown accustomed
Yes.
here. Is there any talks of a contract extension? Was that something you're being
It
open
may
to?
be. I don't know. I ain't worried about me. Let's get everybody else straight first. Then I'm good. Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Nice to see you. Matt Smith, Independent.
Thank you.
Hope you had a time to decompress a little bit
A
after the
little
season.
bit. Could have used a little more time.
Yeah, couldn't we all? All right, so one of the things I didn't get a chance to ask you at the end of last season were what your offseason priorities were going to be. We talked about it after the Utah game, your first year,
Right.
running the ball 1A,
Right.
stopping the run 1B. What would you say
Same
it was
thing.
this offseason?
Well, I think we addressed it differently. Usually we address it with personnel. We address it with personnel as well as coaching. So when you say, I want to run the ball better, you got to address it with personnel, but sometimes you got to address it with coaching, and I think we did both, which is phenomenal. I love that, and stopping the run. I think we did it with personnel, and I think we did that with coaching. So I learned from year one. You can't just do it with personnel. You got to do it with coaching as well, and they must be united with one another, and you got to know what you need. Not just grabbing somebody from the portal. You got to check them out thoroughly, make sure it's a fit, just not athletically, but do he fit with the culture and what we're doing here at CU. And I'm happy and I'm elated what we have in-house. We still going to go fishing for a few more, and we gonna come up. We already know that. That's probably why everybody's moving to stop spring games. I don't know why. You're not going to stop nobody from leaving your program by not having a spring game. If you want to save money, just say that. But you're not going to stop. The kids already gone. Like they already reached out and contacted somebody else. They already gone. Like that's not going to stop. I'm not going to have the it's like I'm not taking your little old lady to the prom. Yeah, whoever going to get her, they going to get her. All right. As soon as you go to college, they going to get her. So it is what it is, man. It's not going to stop it. I'm just thinking of a way to improve it. That's why I want to play against somebody.
Couple more. All right, go ahead.
Arnie Stapleton, Associated Press. Good to see you again, Coach.
Good to see you, sir.
So when Patrick Surtain II got drafted, I asked his father what had been more nerve-wracking for him, his own draft day experience or watching his kid, and he said by far it was watching his kid. So I'm just curious with you as Shiloh and Shador, kind of head into this big month. If you could kind of compare to when, the Falcons got you fifth in '89, is there any difference in, I don't know if it was nerve-wracking or but
No,
what?
it's not nerve-wracking. First of all, it's a blessing. They received a lot more ignorance than I did. I received some, but we didn't have the social media channels and all the different things that's privy today, so you could get abreast of all that. Not at all. I mean, you got to understand, I was a two-sport guy at the time, so you could imagine what it would have been like with all the hate and the naysayers. I was a little different. It was a team I wanted to go to that I made it possible for me to go to that team and that team only because I had the leverage of playing baseball, and I'm thankful that the Atlanta Falcons chose me. That's where I wanted to go. My kids don't have that luxury of saying where they want to go. We would never do such a thing. And I told you, if that would come to that, I would quietly talk to that team behind the curtains. I would never put them on blast for nothing of the sort. Shiloh's working his butt off. I can't wait to see him run the 40 and do his drills because he's been working with Swayze on all of that. I can't wait to see how sharp he is. Shador is a workaholic. You guys know that. He is who he is, and sometimes people forget what he's accomplished here at CU and how accurate and how good he is because you got to take a shot at somebody. And you might as well take a shot as a Sanders. We built for this. We've been through this from birth, from youth ball, from his first Pee Wee ball. You don't think when we put up in the car that we put up with and the gear that we put up with and the team that we put up with, we want to attack and criticize from here on? They've been through this. They got this. So I love it because it's giving them that understanding and that chip on their shoulder. Not that they need it, but I like it. I really like it, and I can't wait. We've already won. We came from a private school, and we came from an HBCU. We've won. He's getting drafted. He's going to go in the first round. Shiloh's going to do his thing. All he needs is opportunity. We've won, man. We've already won. So we're thankful, and we're just trying to pave the way for others. So we can't lose at this point. We're so darn blessed. We're not stressed. Do you see how I look right now? Do I look stressed? Let me take these glasses off so you can zoom in. Do I look stressed? No, I look blessed, okay? So, I don't know what they expect from my kids. They daddy's sons, man, please. We're used to adversity. We're used to ignorance and adolescence. We're used to that. So if anybody could handle it, I think they can. And I'm a proud father, not for the stuff that you know about. I'm proud for the stuff that you don't know about that they've gotten through. I am.
Take two more and then we gotta get back. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah.
Round Skulls from Rob Report.
Speaking of Shador, hold on, I got to ask, this is my son. Hey, son. That was really him. That was right on time. That was the spirit, wasn't it? Let me see if he has something to say to y'all. God, you just talking about him and he called. Is that Now he's going to act like he didn't just call. Anyway.
Week into spring practice, which one of the newcomers have really caught your eye?
Quite a few of them. I can't start off with the names. Quite a few of them. Our D tackles, not that both of them are newcomers, they're phenomenal. They've been balling. They've been stopping that run, man. Linebackers are flying around, getting to the ball. Old faithful Ben. Ben is balling. I told Ben as of right now you're starting. I don't know if it's gonna change, but right now, and they're doing good. Receivers are doing well. Quarterbacks are fighting. They're fighting. We should have a much improved line, not just because of the personnel, but because of the coaching as well. And 3 guys, doing one job is true cohesiveness. But it's so many. I tell you what. Now this is what. I don't think we would have a kickoff return because they won't get an opportunity. The ball may go in the band. You have no idea how much I hate every team we play kicks the ball out of the end zone, and we kicking a returnable ball. I don't like that. I just watched this guy kick the other day, man. It was ridiculous, man. It was field goals. He was kicking field goals from kicking off. It was crazy. And new mate, I call him new mate, a punter. New mate is booming them just like old mate was. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job. Their special team should be truly special this season. And I want that because I would love to put 10 walk-ons out there and let them go do their thing on the kickoff team.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King.
What's going on, Tyler?
I'm doing good, thank you. Wanted to ask about Jordan. Obviously, Seton. Obviously, it seems like he's taking a bigger leadership role going into a sophomore season.
Yep.
Just how impressed have you been with him, not just on the field but off the field?
He's one of my favorites. I love him to life. He spent a lot of time with Shador, and he's picking up a lot of traits. He's in a darn Maybach, by the way, car better than mine. Looking good in it too. But he's a big old kid, man, and he comes to work every day. He just did Indy today. He didn't practice because his back is hurting a little bit, but he was involved in the practice without practicing, and I love that, like encouraging the guys, telling them what they did and what they need to do. So he's such a good young man, and not just the talent, but the character, and that's what we're looking for here at CU, smart, tough, fast, disciplined young men with character, and he epitomizes that. I'm going to tell you one other kid that I really like before I go, Isaiah Harge. I love this young man with so many others, but he stands out because I don't know if the last home game we had 3 guys that play both ways, and he was one of them. Brown was the other one, and of course Travis. But he is coming into his own at playing the slot receiver. He is. We've taken him off defense so he could focus on that slot. And that this kid, he's going to do some incredible things this season. He's doing really well. But we have a plethora of kids that are really playing well, and I don't want to over-exaggerate anything. I want you to see them first, but we have some tremendous talent on this team. Hats off to Coach Ray and that recruiting department.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, and God bless you all. I like that jacket, by the way.